In this video, I'm going to be discussing zip yellow and power yellow, and you might say they fall into a highest category or parallel lines. They're not really parallel lines because they're not on the same chart, but I've got some zip yellow and power yellow highest examples and lowest examples. And when they're running in the same direction and they're either highest or lowest, they're very effective at trend continuation pattern, or as a trend continuation pattern. On the chart here, I am in Apple, and these two green vertical lines that I have marked are in July of 2016. And I only have the zip chart and the power chart on in this example with the candle chart. And I'll start over here on the left with this red vertical line. The basic rule of this formula starts in this case with both highest. So zip yellow is highest and power yellow is highest. And when they're highest, they're going down. That's going to be the downtrend aspect to it, because sometimes they'll bob around a little bit. And I mean, well, here's this going. If you go back over here, they're both highest right here, and in this particular case they're going down. But you can see this, you wouldn't want to, just from these two charts, you wouldn't want to invest in this symbol, because you've got a red-green twin spike. The red is higher. It's a one-day red-green twin spike. If you're not familiar with this pattern, it is a pattern that tells us, it's a reversal pattern, and it tells us that price is going to go up. And zip yellow and power yellow, highest and running together, are a multi-day downtrend pattern, continuation pattern, if you will. And so at where this red vertical line is right now, we have opposing forces. If I was going to choose at this point the red-green twin spike is definitely got more influence than the yellow lines. Same is true with red spikes. I'll move this green line over here just to comment on it. This right green line is on a red spike right now. The red spike is it's zip red underneath 50 and zip yellow above 50. There's a lot of flexibility there. Zip yellow can be down in the 20s, but the general rule is for yellow above 50 and red under 50 in a red spike, and just the opposite in a red peak. But that being said, the red spike is a next day up pattern, and it also is fairly significant. If I move this one over, the high and low of that day is 97.32 as a low and 98.99 as a high. So it's up about $1.70 in that day, and it also gapped up, as you can see. So the red spike is a significant pattern, and just like the red-green twin spike is. So a lot of times you'll see the red-green both at zero. In this case here, red is higher. The zip red is at 6 in this example, and green is at 0. So you wouldn't want to deal with the twin yellow lines, zip yellow and power yellow, until you had a downturn. Now it's at this point that in all likelihood we can see a downturn coming from the different types of examples in the charts. Just on these two charts we have several up touches on both charts, and those up touches are indicative of the next day down. Zip pink is in a high M right peak higher pattern as well, which is a strong indication for going down. So I'm sure with the swing chart and the trend chart and even the price chart, it would be easy to tell that this is the high, and things are going to go down from here. So through the next 4, 5, 6 days, we, at least down into this day, everything is down. After this, the pattern disappears. In the other, they're no longer highest, is what I'm trying to say. Zip yellow and power yellow are no longer highest. And the next day you had a gap down green candle, which is not necessarily to say that it's the end, but you can continue, like on this day there is a nice red peak. Zip yellow is just above 50, and they're pretty close together, but considering the downtrend and the probable 7 short-term trend lines, because it's been down for a week, I would indicate, if I looked at all the other charts, all the 7 swing term trend lines would be down, which would be a strong indication for that you wanted to go back into the trade in the way of a short. So you can certainly continue to follow the zip yellow line and the power line going through the other lines, but sometimes it's not as effective. There just seems to be something else built into the strength of the push when both of them are highest. Going over to, I'm going to move this green line back over here to where I had it. When I'm looking in between the two green lines, we're looking at zip yellow and power yellow up, lowest and up. Excuse me. Now, when they're lowest and up, we have an uptrend, and that's real obvious to see in the 4 green candles between the 2 green vertical lines. However, on this third day, the uptrend disappears. The zip yellow line disappears, as does the the power yellow line. At that point, however, the one thing that you'll notice, and I'm looking specifically at the pink-green top pattern, when you have a pink-green top pattern and zip pink here is at 91, that's real low for a pink-green top pattern. Zip green should be much higher, and so with zip blue dropping down, it's a good indication that pink would go higher. Now move the green line over one day, and what do you have? You have a zip pink at 94.97, so it's almost at 95, and that's still not real high. But it's been going up now for about 5 days, so you need to think through the process. It could certainly be the top, but what really identifies the top is in the zip blue line. The zip blue line is in a high M pattern, and when you have a high M pattern, you have a downtrend next day. Excuse me, not a downtrend. You have a next day down. Just let me clarify that those words also. When you read or when you hear me say next day down, that's a 1 day movement. When I say downtrend, that's typically a 3 to 5 day movement, or an uptrend, 3 to 5 days up. So in this case here, we have a next day, the high M is a next day down, and we also have a high M in our power red, and I'm not sure about the blue, but I'm not going to go into it now, especially without the other charts. I'm sure the other charts would also show us more high M's, which would tell us next day down. So you could, like I've run us through this example, you could carry this through one more day after the zip yellow and power yellow disappear as the lowest lines. But watch your other indicators to identify, because they'll tell you if it's going to go up or down in all likelihood. The excuse me. The other red line that I have over here, red vertical line over on the right, this is a classic red spike. It has zip yellow high, and it's at 83, almost 84, and the zip red is at 22. So this is a classic turnaround reversal pattern. I use it in this example as a start of as a next day up. It's not always a uptrend like it is here with 5 green candles, but the way you watch this is you watch the yellow and the primarily we watch the yellow line. It's probably because it's more visible, and that's obvious in this right in this area right here. Let me bring the candles down a little bit so you can see what I mean. From back in this area right here, we've had zip yellow and power yellow highest, but we've also had your zip red in a very low pattern, and so that's indicative of price going up, because we know that zip red moves fast, and zip red, when things are going down, red goes down. When things are going up, red goes up. When red is down, there's a real good chance it's going to go up, and that's the logic behind what I'm trying to convey here, just based on the zip chart and the power chart. I'm sure we could gather a lot more additional information with the other charts. But I want to make you aware that when you have a situation like this, now first off, when the power yellow is separated itself a long ways from, and there's a big space between the yellow and the other lines, that's a good indication of a decent downtrend, because eventually it's going to get over here where the yellow line touches the other lines that are fast indicator lines, part of the 22 market force recognition lines. Now, in the what has happened here in the next 5 or 6 days till we get over to this point, the power yellow has dropped reasonably well, but the zip yellow has bounced up and down a few times before it got to this point, and as a result the price hasn't dropped significantly. There's been a lot of congestion in this, and in fact way before the yellow and the two yellows became highest. But after this red line, you can see how significant and how steep the zip yellow line drops. And as well, the power yellow finally drops under the power green and orange and is heading down under zero. And when zip drops down under zero, that's usually a good indication of a continued downtrend as well. But the next 4 or 5 days after this red vertical line, because the zip yellow line angle is significantly down, is a good way to tell yourself to continue in the pattern. Stay with the short position because it's going to go down. This is one of the longer ones that you see. Typically you see something like this over here. At this point the yellow line has gone down 4 or 5 days, and you can see we've got 4 or 5 red candles, and that's real typical to see something 4, 5, 6 days long. So that's the basic ideas behind the zip yellow and the power yellow matching together, either lowest or together highest. So they're a powerful way to tell you what's the trend, to continue in the trend. If you've got into the trend or you jump into a trend, that's a great way to stay in a trend. So another example of how fantastic these indicators really are.